Every time.
Well, if I had known you were setting up a camera. Oh. So I don't want this Dorkfish, it's impossible to film with you.
Well, hi there. Steve Miller for the Imagination Woodshop. Have you or anybody you ever known maybe got the bright idea to put sheetrock up on the ceiling? Have you ever had that sore pain in your back, maybe in your neck from holding up drywall while trying to hammer all day long? I too have had those awful ideas, but instead, do what I do. Get smart. This Christmas, get yourself the gift of a sheetrock lift. With this bad boy, you can make sheetrock, aches and pains a thing of the past. Side effects may include excessive happiness, overwhelming joy. No need for Advil in the morning. For only $50 a day, you too can join in on this fun. So don't be dumb, do the smart thing. Sheetrock lift. I appreciate you tuning in for part 2 of this sheetrock install. If you haven't checked out part 1, it is the video before this where I tear down basically the entire ceiling and run all of that wiring that you see up there. So for this next part of the build, my main goal right here is to get the sheetrock back up, and this sheetrock lift made life so much easier. Also wanted to take a second to show you just a couple tools that you may need if you decide to do this yourself. First and foremost, a sheetrock square is essential in this. Helps you get nice straight cuts. All you got to do, score your line. It doesn't have to be cut too deep, but once you've scored your line, give it a little snap, and then all you need to do is then just cut the back of the paper, and you'll have your sheetrock cut to the right length. And the rest of this is really just rinse and repeat. Take your time, take good measurements, and this should be pretty easy. Once you have it up, then it's all about just screwing it into place. Need to remember that if you're going to use 1/2 inch thick sheetrock, your screws that you're going to use for this application need to be at least 1 1/4 inches. And if you're using sheetrock that is 5/8 inches thick, then you really need to be using screws that are 1 inch and 5/8 inches long. While this may not seem like a big deal, it is really important to get the right length of screw for the application in the ceiling because you don't want your ceiling to come down. Another tool that is actually really handy that you're going to probably want to invest in is a sheetrock saw. It's just basically a hole saw that you can use for any outlet boxes that you may put in. So this saw is tipped on the end, allows you to push into the sheetrock and then cut out the box as needed. Okay, so the drywall's up. It took a very inexperienced team of two about 5 hours or so to get up the brunt of the drywall. It's really nice to have done and out of the way, and I cannot tell you how much a drywall lift is worth the money. A 24-hour rental cost me $61 after taxes and fees, and it was worth every penny. Like I say, we couldn't do it with just two people without the lift. And with the drywall lift, two made it easy. You could do it with just one if you didn't have anybody to help you, but two people always makes everything easier. So thank you, Dad, for that one. With that, now just comes a lot of mud and a lot of tape. What a great day. What a great day. Tiring day, but what a great day.
The next day.
Well, all right, welcome back to my closet. I thought I'd take a little break from all of the sheetrock for a while and take care of a fun little project, and that is putting in a counter to set my laser on it. To do that, I went ahead and created little supports. I created the supports by just using simple 3/4 inch plywood for no other reason than I just wanted that as the look. So all I did was just take the plywood, cut it down to the size I needed at 2.5 inches and then 24 inches long. Once I had them cut down to size off that big piece of plywood, I took a little Titebond glue and glued it up. Used maybe a little too much glue in parts, but that's okay. More glue is better than not. Once I got things clamped up, then I just put it off to the side, let it sit for a couple hours to set up. Once the glue was dry, took it off the clamps, and then what I wanted to do was I wanted to make a nice little decorative edge on this, something simple, but to do that I took the now 1.5 inch piece and I took a thing of stain to draw my nice little radius. Once I had the radius drawn in, took it over to the scroll saw and just cut them both out. I also had a countertop that I bought just ready-made butcher block countertop from Lowe's. Now granted, I could have made my own butcher block top, but this was like $140 that I found on a good deal. By the time I would have done the glue ups and spent the money on the wood, the price would have been about the same, and in this way I saved about a week worth of labor. The countertop itself, I approached it the same way I approached the supports, and I used a teak oil to seal everything up. And once that was all done, I just basically put them all off to the side and let them dry and cure. And once everything is dry and cured, that means I'm back up here in the closet ready to do the install. An install like this is pretty straightforward. If you've ever installed shelving or countertops or things like that, you only need a couple key tools. A drill, a stud finder, a level, and a tape are usually the key things that you're going to need. First thing you're going to want to do is take your stud finder and find where the studs are on your wall. In most cases, you're going to have one at your corner and then every 16 inches on center. Once you've found that, just mark off your studs so you have a good point to draw onto. I go ahead and usually put up your sides first because things typically aren't square. Once the sides go up, then it's just a matter of putting it in the back. I can cut it down to size if it's a little too big. And once I have those three pieces in, I can finally put on my countertop, which is really, really heavy.
What the hell just happened here?
But I got it in there after a little bit of work. Once I got it where I like it, all I did was just use a nice little bracket to keep it in its spot. And once that counter's in place, I just took the opportunity to tape things off, paint up the areas of the walls that I had to work on and touch back up, as well as caulk around the countertop that will act then as a glue, and it's not going to go anywhere. Overall, an install like this, once you've got your pieces prepped,
it's about an hour of work, but it's going to save you $200-300 in the long run from having someone else install this for you. So highly recommend if you are a novice DIY person, this is a great kind of project to start off with. But like I say, counter looks good, ready to move on to the next thing. All right, well, I am extremely close to finally getting this project up here in the closet done and my laser up and running. All we need to do is one last thing. That is exhaust for the laser, which means it's time to drill a hole outside to the elements. Enough talk, wish me luck, here we go. I haven't turned this on in a little over 2 years, so fingers crossed. Oh, my baby. You're alive. You're alive. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this second of what is now a 3-part series. So make sure you tune into the next one where we will finally get to see a final product in the garage and everything back in order. But that's for the next one. In the meantime, I'm going to keep playing on this laser and just keep having some fun. So thank you so much for coming along, and I will see you on the next one.